guys, welcome to Decidedly Neapolitan. I wanted to do a quick little sort of tutorial extra here to sort of just let you guys know about a little trick that I kind of devised, a little system I devised here to automatically farm these experience berries. You know, the Tinker's Construct spawns these experience berries in caves and whatnot, and so you can use those to basically collect experience. You grab them and if you right click them, see, it gives you a little bit of experience. And so these guys, they'll just sit here and produce these berries on here, but if you're not around to collect them, then they'll just sit there, and you're sort of wasting your production. So I've basically been trying to come up with a way to farm these so that they always have a good supply of them and we're not wasting the production. And this is the system that I come up with, and as you can see, it does work. And it's really, really simple. It just requires, some resources, basically. But once you get a quarry set up, it's not a big deal. But let me just give you a little little idea what I'm doing here. So these are the experience berries here, and essence. They're called experience essence bushes, I think. Yeah, essence berry bush. So I just planted them down the row, and they will. Once they reach maturity, which is this large stage here, they will start producing berries. Now, I'm not sure how often they do it, but I actually just finished setting this up, and I've already got 7 plus a couple that I used before. So, yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. So what I've done is first thing I did was I planted all these along this row, and I did it along this iron fence. And that was basically to keep all of the berries in this area here. Because what happens is when the autonomous activator right-clicks on it, and I'll show you that here in a second, but when it right-clicks on it like you do when you try to farm the berries pop off. It doesn't suck them in like I thought it would, but it doesn't do it. So this fence here just keeps them all in this area. So I planted them all on the ground. Then I dug out underneath this little section underneath here, and I put hoppers. Now the hoppers will pull them down through the berry bushes into these iron chests. And once they get into these iron chests, I have a servo set up here, and this is just the basic servo here, real simple to make, and you don't really need anything high powered. It only does a stack of 4, but I mean, honestly, you don't really need anything more than that, because the berries only produce every once in a while, so it's not like it's going to be just a continuous stream of berries here. So you do your servo here, and I've got it set to ignore redstone, so it'll just, as soon as something's in the chest, it'll pull it out. And of course, I've got the item duct here, and I'm using opaque item ducts, but it doesn't really matter. And these are just the regular ones, not the super fast ones. Again, you don't really need anything super fast because, it's only going to produce a berry every so often. So it'll pull it down in here. The servo will grab it, throw it into the item duct, and it'll come down here and end up in this crystal chest. And I use the crystal chest just, as these things mature, which they're not all mature now, but as they mature, they'll start producing a pretty good supply of berries. So, I just want to make sure that we have enough room for them. And the crystal chest is relatively inexpensive to make. So in order to actually harvest the berries, I created this autonomous activator, and I've got it set for right-clicking on up there. And you notice I don't have any tool in there. It doesn't seem to need a tool to pop off the berries. It automatically the berries just automatically pop off as soon as they're grown. Now, I don't know if that's a product of, I want to do a little bit of experiments. I'm not sure if this automatic if this autonomous activator is just right-clicking with nothing and that's enough, or what. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of wondering if they're popping off because they're in an enclosed space. I don't think so, because you can stack these berries, these bushes next to each other, and the berries won't pop off. So it looks like, at least from the way it's working in this setup, I'm getting the berries here. They're popping through. So yeah, it doesn't seem to need any tool, but I've got it set to right click. And as soon as the berry grows, it pops it right off immediately. And then it gets sucked down into the system. So it seems to be working. Now, to power these things need power, of course. And you notice it is using a little bit of power there. You can see it right clicking every once in a while. See, it does it every second or so. Yeah. Now I guess you could set up a timing system, but I don't know. It seems I don't have that many set up, so I don't think it'd be that big of a problem. I guess if you had hundreds of them set up, you might want to set them up on a timer so that they click every once in a while. And if it gets to be a lag issue, then I'll set up a timer for them as well. But I've got they're powered by these electrical engines, which are the forestry engines, and these guys are real cheap to make as well. Where are they? Electric engine. It's just basically tin and a piston with some tin gears. And the tin gears are just iron with tin around them. So really, really cheap. These are the most expensive, the solar panels. And these take quite a bit of resources to make. You've got to have the generator, of course, which is an iron furnace and that. And then you got to have these guys. And you can see I've got quite a few, so I had to make a bunch of these electronic circuits. And, this takes some time because you got to get the rubber from the trees, and I really need to set up an automatic farm to farm some rubber. I haven't done that yet, but I'll do that at some point, and I'll do an episode on that. That'll be a separate episode by itself. Solar panels are probably the most expensive piece of this. So, yeah, it took a bit of resources to get all these solar panels going. But the solar panel will power the electrical engine, and the electrical engine outputs RF, which you can use here. So it's a real nice conversion. If you need to convert EU directly into RF, in this case the solar energy into RF, then using the electrical engine is the way to do it. And you can see that I'm not even using part of the power. So I don't have to worry about this electrical engine overheating. Because I'm not even really using it. And actually the electrical engines won't explode. If they overheat, they'll just shut down until they cool off and then keep going. Now you can upgrade this by putting in some upgrades, but I don't really need it. I mean, as you can see, this thing is using hardly any energy at all. So yeah, this system is really generating. I could probably get by with one electrical engine for every few of these guys. And so I may change this up and just use the number of electrical engines that I actually need to power these, because I'm using way too many right now. I don't need all this stuff. So I'll fix that up a little bit here. But this gives you just the general idea of what I'm doing here. So yeah, look at this. See, we've already got 14 just in the time that I've been talking, and they're not even all mature yet. So yeah, nice little system. And what I'll need to do is figure out how many of these I actually need to power the system. I certainly don't need all this. I mean, I just didn't know how much energy these guys were going to use, but they're using hardly anything. So yeah, I can cut that down to just probably a handful of electrical engines and use a flux duct to run it down there and power this guy. And I can probably reclaim for my solar array over here, reclaim some of these guys for that. So, but anyways, guys, it's a real simple setup. Just basically plant your berry bushes, put hoppers underneath them. I'm using the iron chest because I can stack them side by side. I don't really need the space. It's just because I can stack them side by side, and they're easy to make, and I've got tons of iron, so it's not a big deal. So, put your chest down here, set yourself up a servo, a basic servo is all you need. Just pump it all into a holding chest here, like so, and then set up your power system. Use electrical engines or whatever type of RF power system you want to use. But there you have it. So yeah, and then what I'm going to do is just close up this system right here, because I don't really need to get down in there anymore. And I've got torches down there, so nothing will spawn. Maybe might put a hatch here just so I can get down in there if I need to. But there you have it. A little farm system to automatically farm up these essence berries. And yeah, we've already got 14 here in just the time that we've been talking. So anyways, guys, that's it. And I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.